Are you ever told that you need to add more details to your writing? Well, just how do you do that? That's what we're going to look at today. Perhaps you've seen my earlier video entitled How to Add Details to Your Writing. That video focused mostly on how to make sentences longer. In this video, we're going to look at how to make paragraphs longer. I'm going to link that video in the description below and probably put a card up on the screen so you can take a look at that video if you haven't seen it. If you have, though, you might be really interested in this video because in this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to make your paragraphs longer. There are 6 specific steps that we will take in this lesson to make your paragraphs longer. We'll first look at how to write an inviting, informative topic sentence, then entice your reader with background information, define important terms, make comparisons, suggest inferences, and finally, how to incorporate an interesting quote. The paragraph that we're going to be working with today is a very basic paragraph about dogs, and this is what the paragraph sounds like before I've done any work at all with it. Dogs are man's best friends. Most dogs live about 10 to 13 years. They are blind and deaf when they're born. Dogs have a great sense of smell. Dogs lick their humans to show that they love them. The first thing we want to do is look at the topic sentence and make sure that the topic sentence really does prepare the reader for the information we're going to present in the rest of the paragraph. Dogs are man's best friend. Well, you probably remember from when I just read the paragraph that this is really not a paragraph that's focusing totally on dogs being man's best friend. It's really a paragraph that focuses more on facts about dogs. So we really need to make our topic sentence reflect that idea. And we are going to revise it to say, even though dogs are often considered man's best friend, there are countless interesting facts about dogs that many people do not know. This improved topic sentence sets the reader up to know that they are going to be reading about interesting facts about dogs, not just reading about how dogs are man's best friend. I didn't really want to get rid of that though because I thought it was kind of a snappy beginning. So that's why I kept the phrase man's best friend, but then I went on to expand my topic sentence to include the fact that I was going to talk about interesting facts that many people do not know. The second step we're going to take is to add some interesting background information. Now, depending on your topic, you might have to look up some information in order to be able to actually give some interesting information. If you don't know a bunch of interesting facts already, then you might have to look something up. And if you have been directed to cite those sources, you will have to do that. We're not citing sources in this paragraph today because that's not what this video is about. But I just want you to realize when you get information from somewhere else and you're required to cite your source, you need to do that. So what I've done now is add another sentence in alongside my topic sentence that says, scientists believe that dogs were domesticated long before cats or other common farm animals. That was kind of surprising to me because in my head I was thinking probably cats had been domesticated longer. But nope, when I looked it up, it said that they thought dogs had been domesticated longer. The next step we want to take is to add a definition. Now, you can only do this if you're using vocabulary that's a little bit specific to your topic or a little bit more sophisticated than everyday common terms. And in this case, I've thought maybe not everybody reading this paragraph would know what domesticated means. So I add the next sentence that defines the word domesticated. Domesticated means made tame and kept as a pet. So now you can see I have extended out dogs are man's best friend by writing the topic sentence, some background information, and a definition. And I still haven't even talked about any facts yet. So this is definitely going to be a longer paragraph than what I started out with. So the next thing you might try is making a comparison. And I had to think about this for a minute, but then I realized when I looked at my original paragraph, I had said that dogs have a great sense of smell. So I thought, wow, I wonder what else I could find out about that. And so I did a little research and I found out, and I added this sentence that says a dog's sense of smell is 10,000 times more sensitive than that of a human. So here I've made a comparison. It helps the reader just to be able to take in the information. Because just by saying dogs have a great sense of smell, you might think, well, you know, my Uncle Harry has a great sense of smell too. He can smell dinner being cooked from out in the backyard. But no, this is way more intense than just a human being able to smell something from a few feet away. Dogs can smell 10,000 times better than humans. I think that's pretty fantastic. So I looked back to my original paragraph again, the one that I'm working on, and I see that originally I wrote that dogs are blind and deaf when they're born. But I'm kind of making an inference here that they probably are born with a pretty good sense of smell. Just because they're blind and deaf, they would be totally helpless if they didn't at least have that sense of smell and be able to find their mother. So I wrote a sentence that suggests an inference. And it says, one can infer that a dog's sense of smell informs him of his surroundings even before he can see or hear, since dogs are born both blind and deaf. So see, I'm taking my original facts and I'm finding out more about them and making them more interesting. Now I'm looking back at my topic sentence that promises that I'm going to tell interesting facts that most people don't know about dogs in my paragraph. Well, I'm looking at that original paragraph and it says, dogs live 10 to 13 years. Most people know that. And dogs like to lick humans to show they love them. Most people know that. So I'm feeling like I need to find some more interesting information to make my paragraph better. So I did a little bit of research and I found out some more interesting facts. And I think I might drop that whole idea about living 10 to 13 years and dogs licking humans. Because remember, when you're revising, you're making things better, but you're also cutting away things that really don't add to the meaning of the paragraph. And those two facts that are really common facts don't really line up with my topic sentence. So I'm just going to cut those out of there. So when I researched, I found out why dogs' noses are wet, and it's important for them to stay wet, and I've added that as my next sentence. My next sentence says, most people do not realize that the reason dogs' noses stay wet all the time is to help them absorb scent chemicals that assist them in having that heightened sense of smell. Again, this sentence lines right up with my topic sentence. And the last thing that we're going to do to make our paragraph longer and add more detail is to integrate a quote. And I looked at lots of interesting quotes and inspirational quotes about dogs, and I found one that I thought really went along well with my topic sentence. So here's my final sentence in my paragraph. Perhaps the dog's long, faithful relationships to humans is what prompted Peanuts creator Charles M. Schulz to say, happiness is a warm puppy. So you see, I've taken these steps to make my paragraph longer, but is the writing quality any better? Well, I used the proofing tool in Microsoft Word to take a look at the readability statistics for both my original paragraph and my revised, better, longer, more detailed paragraph, and here's what I found. My first paragraph contained only 38 words, and it only had 5 sentences. Now, most of the time, 5 sentences is adequate for a paragraph, but you and I both know that paragraph that I wrote originally was not adequate, was it? So in the averages, it tells me that I had 5 words per sentence, which That's really short sentences. Sophisticated writers definitely want to have more than 5 words in a sentence. There were 7.6 words in a sentence and 4 characters per word, meaning I use really short words. Now, under readability statistics, my original paragraph, the reading ease was 100%, meaning most anybody who can read that paragraph. It's super simple. And the grade level was a 0.1, meaning that someone even in kindergarten could probably read that paragraph. So are you wondering about the statistics for the improved paragraph? Let's take a look. Well, in my improved paragraph, I had 122 words, and it was only 6 sentences still, but you and I both know those sentences were much longer. In fact, under the averages, it tells me that there were 20.3 words in each sentence in my revised paragraph, which is really good. My average characters per word was 4.5, meaning I still didn't have really long words in my paragraph, but I guess if I were to keep revising, I could work on that. The reading ease was 66.9, which means of, all the people who can read, about 67% of the readers could read this pretty easily. And the Flesch-Kincaid grade level that was assigned to it was an 8.9, which means it's almost a 9th grade reading level, which is okay. It's a high school reading level, much improved over the first paragraph. Here are the statistics side to side. I went from 38 words to 122 words by following those steps, those 6 steps. I also increased my words per sentence from 7.6 to 20.3. That's really something. And I took the grade level of the piece of text that I wrote from a kindergarten level up to almost a 9th grade level, which is just phenomenal. So just to review, here are the steps that we took to add more detail to that paragraph and make it longer. We wrote an inviting, informative topic sentence that actually foretold what the paragraph would be about. We enticed our reader with background information. We defined an important term. We defined domesticated. We made a comparison between humans' ability to smell and dogs' sense of smell. We suggested an inference, inferring that dogs probably have a good sense of smell when they're born, since they are born blind and deaf. That's the only sensory input that they're getting when they're newborn. And we incorporated an interesting quote that just followed along with my topic sentence as the final sentence in that paragraph. If this lesson was helpful for you, please consider subscribing, like the video, and if you would like me to do a video showing you how to find those readability statistics in Microsoft Word, please leave a comment indicating that, and if I have some requests to do that, I will follow up with a video on that. There are still more ways to add more details to your writing, so look for future lessons on this same topic. Thanks for joining us today.